My words of encouragement are, you've got this. Running a business is legitimately one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, and I would not trade those experiences for anything. And so I think it's understanding that it's hard and that it's okay that it's hard. And so I think just turning that mindset like, oh good, I've got this, because we have to have that mindset, and we're gonna solve these problems, we're gonna work through them and just keep pushing forward. The world needs entrepreneurs. We're incredible problem solvers.
So true. All right, welcome back. This is the Massive and Passive Income Show. I'm Jason Andrus. And
I'm
my
Megan
guest,
Christensen.
Megan Christensen.
Yes.
I am excited to be here with you. We are at the Best Year Ever Summit, and we just did a recap, Coulter and I, but I want to take a minute and pull the star of the show yesterday and today.
I don't know if wow, that's pretty big.
She rocked the house. She's all about business credit. Her company is called Credit Suite.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us just a little bit about you and Credit Suite.
Oh, about me?
Yeah.
Let's see. I have 2 wonderful children and a fantastic spouse. I've been running this company for about 17 years.
She's an Idaho girl.
I'm an Idaho girl, and I just love what I do.
And it shows.
Wow.
It really does. When you're up there presenting, there's no doubt everybody that sees you present are like, man, she is in this to win it.
Oh, I just have so much fun. And I guess the hard part for me is always making it a business. I have to generate revenue. I wish I could just give the information away for free. That's always the challenge for me, but it's thoroughly enjoyable. And I think the best part about the summit is I get to watch people's faces as they intake what I'm telling them. And I wish I could just hone in on everybody's face, because I get to really see how they understand what I'm presenting. And that's a much different scenario when I'm in my office and I'm teaching people how to consult and we don't get to see their faces. So this creates a whole different experience, which I love.
So great. And you gave out so many nuggets. I think the biggest nugget for me was fundability, which is something I think every business needs to learn about and have that be part of their business plan.
Yes.
Tell us just a little bit about fundability.
You know, fundability was just born from my experiences as a lender and declining people over and over again. But as a lender, your hands are tied with regulation. You can't just tell somebody why they're declined and how to go fix it. It's so frustrating, Jason. And really, after you decline somebody for the 50th time and you know they're probably out crying in the car because they can't make payroll, it's gut-wrenching at some point. And so that was really the birth of fundability. I thought, well, what if I can get to companies before that happens or soon after, and I can help them make sure that they're preparing their business for financing, position them in a place to get yeses, giving them more control. They know what the lenders and creditors are looking at to make their decisions. And, if they get declined, we can really pinpoint what's going on, what's wrong, and fix those issues. So that was the birth of fundability.
That's huge. It's huge for a business. I've been in business since 2001 or 2, and I've never heard the terminology fundability.
I'm trying my best to get it out.
Or even knew that there was, I knew there was business credit because you get the phone calls, and I'm sure if you have business out there and you're listening to this podcast, you've got them and you're like, right, I'm pre-approved for $100,000. Yeah. How big a scam is that, right?
All the time.
But this is legitimate. You're actually helping businesses.
Yeah, I have to sleep at night. It's got to be legitimate. So, and that's the goal, is to really just put the business owner in the driver's seat. Like, this is what the bank is seeing on your business, and this is what they're not going to like, and this is what you could tweak to get a yes the next time you go in, or hey, this lender is likely to say yes. They're your best opportunity to get an approval, and I'm just trying to get as many business owners in there. I mean, I mentioned that we've served 550,000 paying customers to this point.
Crazy a number.
But it feels too small to me. When I look at that, I'm like, not good enough, And so really my goal is to get up to the million customer mark, not $1 million. We're going to help you get there. Well, I want to get there, and we're doing everything we can do to get that word out. And I've helped far more customers because I'm teaching at events.
Definitely.
I'm giving away guides and things like that. So the number's in the hundreds of thousands when I start to include them, but I would like to serve 1 million paying customers
That's
by the end
awesome.
of my career.
That's awesome. So there was a couple things you kept reiterating yesterday during your presentation of remember this, 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 and this. Would you just hit those real quick?
Yeah. Let's see, these are the red flags.
Yes.
The red flags for every business owner. A, if you don't have a business but you're running business, fully commit. People lose time in business all the time because they think, oh, when the business is bigger, I'll do it. And then it's never there, right? Where they
So
think
the timing's now.
Yeah, it's like imposter syndrome, where the business owner doesn't actually believe they're a business owner. And so I just
Someone's going to find out I'm not legitimate.
Yeah, exactly. It's the most.
I've been there.
Yeah, I think all of us have been there to a point, and so that actually kicks people's hindies because they just are incorporating far after they started their business, and they're losing that time in business. And I hate to see them lose it because that's the one thing you cannot modify that banks like to see is a little more time in business. And so do that. Personal credit, don't use your personal finances to fund your business. It's the ultimate recipe for disaster.
Which is tough.
It's so hard because we
first
know
starting
it.
out, that's all we know.
We just know it so well, and we take those credit card offers. And when you're starting a business, you urgently need money. I just talk to people all day long that are like, I just bought the van because I needed it. I just bought this thing. And they're using their personal credit, and it's okay. They all do it. But really, what's important is using your business financing to fund your business operations, and that way it keeps it off your personal credit report as debt.
Which is huge.
I don't want people getting into checkmate. They do it all the time when they operate a business, and those are really two of the main things. Set up a business in a fundable way, get that business going, and don't use your personal finances.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think I wrote those down in my notebook. I've already talked to my wife about it.
Yeah.
She's like, well, we've messed up a few of those. I'm like, that's okay. She says, even if you've done it, we can still work with it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the point is to do it now. And I love today because Mark Kohler come out and said, okay, you've learned how to make money. Now let me tell you how to save money. And then you jumped right into business credit on how to create money once you make yourself legitimate. Started an LLC, started an S Corp, making that all with the state so that you can get your tax savings, but then you can help build that credit.
Mark always does a great job.
He does.
Every time I hear him, I just wish there was more Mark in this world. But
I do too.
He brings out great concepts. But again, those concepts don't work until you have a legitimate business. And, having everything go through a business checking account. These are things that lenders and creditors like to see too. So it's interesting how the concepts we teach in fundability expand into the tax. They expand into the legal areas. They expand into all of these legs. It's a critical component of running your business.
Awesome. All right, before we wrap up, let's go through those things again. Fundability, why is that important? And then the other two.
Okay, fundability, why it's important, because we want to make sure that every business is running in a way that they'll thrive. And the way they do that is by making sure they actually file a business entity. And they quit the imposter syndrome. Knock it off, it's not doing you any good.
It's so true.
Just go for it. File the entity, start that clock on time in business. The other is be super cautious and leery about using your personal finances to fund your business. When you put all the business's expenses on the person as an individual, it really can create so many issues and almost gridlock you where you can't qualify for any more financing. It's super dangerous. And there's so many great business finance tools out there. So I think those are the two main components really that lead to success. Those are the most common big mistakes I run into.
So words of encouragement, somebody that's been in business for 20 years and just starting out. Just real quick, what's your words of encouragement for them?
That apply to both groups evenly?
Yes.
Oh, my words of encouragement are you've got this. Running a business is legitimately one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, and I would not trade those experiences for anything. And so I think it's understanding that it's hard and that it's okay that it's hard. I think it's Jocko that would come up with replies when people came to his table with problems. He's like, oh, good. And they finally were like, kind of mad. Why can't you just reply in a dramatic way with a lot of sympathy? And he's like, because life is full of problems that we're going to always solve, and having that confidence. And so I think just turning that mindset like, oh, good, I've got this, because we have to have that mindset, and we're going to solve these problems. We're going to work through them and just keep pushing forward. The world needs entrepreneurs. We're incredible problem solvers.
So true. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
I really
Jason.
appreciate it. You're incredible. I've talked to you a couple times on the phone. First time I've ever met you, and
Yeah.
you did not disappoint at all.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for coming on our show, and
you for
we'll
having
see you
me.
next time.
Yes. See you next time.